Hello, beloveds. We are live, honey. We are live. We are live. We are here to talk about sensual tarot. Sensual tarot. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to let the folks come in. Hello, beloveds. We are here today talking about sensual tarot. And on these live calls, what I like to do is share with you some of the toys that I am appreciating. I like to share them with a card correspondence. Okay. Oh, we got a jumping card already. All right. Well, this will be where we all are. Ooh, okay. That's good. Hello, beloveds. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Some of the folks from month to month. Hey, beloveds. It's so good to see you. Okay, let me see. I'm choosing, honestly, all this movement. I'm choosing what do I want to show you today. I'm choosing what do I want to show you today by way of sex toy. Hey, sugar. By way of sex toy recommendations. Okay, I think I got what, I think I know. Hey, Queen. Hello, my beloveds. Okay, so if you've never been here, if this is your first time, what we do is we pull from the Sluttist tarot deck and we look at what are the sensual messages, particularly for that season. So we are in Taurus season, my babies. We are in the Venusian energy. We are in the energy of Venus. That's what that means. And we are in this moment of slowing down. Slowing down. Really to enjoy our sensual life. Really to enjoy our sensual self. Venus energy, Taurus energy, it's the energy of opulence, okay? So it's that energy of like treat yourself, slow down, do the things. Oh, thank you, Harajuku Roxy. Yes, indeed. So we're here to talk about what are your salient sensual messages for this Taurus season, okay? So this is how we do. I pull one card for all of us. Oh, thank you. I pull one card for all of us. Okay? This is just the group. So if you're watching past, present, or even future, this is kind of the general energy that we're flowing in for this Taurus season. Okay? Then I pick 3 cards and I do a recommendation with a sex toy. So I'm going to do that now. Okay? I like to do 3 cards. So get in your mind 1, 2, or 3. Okay, just get in your mind the number 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. My boo is here. Now we can really get down. All right, 1, 2, or 3. Choose a number. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Put it in the chat. What did you choose? 1, 2, or 3. Hey, sugars, just come in and choose a card. 1. 2. Okay. Or 3. Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Okay. A lot of 3s. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, or 3. Okay, beautiful. Let's get started. The energy that we are all moving into, this is for all of us. So regardless if you chose 1, 2, or 3, this is going to apply to all of us across time, across space, past, present, future. This is our message for the Taurus season. Woo, child. Judgment. The Judgment card. So I know some of y'all was probably like, leaves live. Don't get scary, beloveds. It's okay. So the Judgment card is not about anyone judging you. Okay? It's not about anyone that's judging you. It's actually about you standing up in your own discretion and your own discernment around what feels good for you sensually, sexually, and erotically. Huh? You have a say in the politics of your bedroom. Some of y'all miss that. You have a say in the politics of your bedroom. Who gets to be there? Who doesn't get to be there? What kind of energy gets to be there? What kind of energy doesn't get to be there? The Judgment card is a card of choice, making a choice to choose yourself, right? Now, when we read the cards, we want to read them in context with their other cards. So for those of you who are here month to month, you already know where I'm going to go. This card is a major arcana card. The majors talk about like the larger context of our life. It's a big message, right? It's a larger kind of sweeping theme, okay? So we've got this as a larger sweeping theme. Right now, this whole Taurus season, we're learning about the politics of our bedroom. We're learning about the ways that we love, the ways that we share our erotic energy. The Judgment card is, again, I want to repeat, it's not a card of you being judged, but it is a card of you using your discernment, right? And taking erotic agency, okay? So if you're taking notes, that's a good word to write down, erotic agency. You taking erotic agency. Now, with this card, the Judgment card, this can also be a warning. Now, it's not a warning about anything scary. All of the warnings from the tarot really are to help us live into our beauty, live into our highest alignment. Some folks, you're judging yourself too harshly around what your sensual practice is. Let me tell you something. You can't bend it down, bust it open, do all of this like this. That is okay. That is why there are things like sex furniture. That is why there are things like sex toys. We're going to get into that. That is why there are all kinds of accessibility measurements for you to live your best sexual and sensual life. Don't judge yourself for what your body can or cannot do. Don't judge yourself for what your body can or cannot do, because the reality is sensuality and sensual expression looks different for all of us. So for some of us, the Taurus season journey is actually judging for ourselves. How do we show up in our body? How do we show up in our body? How do we remove that lens of judgment over what we can do or not do erotically or in our bedroom? We have to take off those self-judgments that we put and that because that actually blocks us from our erotic capacity and our erotic agency. Okay, so that's the first thing we have is the Judgment card. Judgment, you want to read in context with the other cards. Queen of Wands. Look at the posture of this Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is not playing any games. I think I've pulled this actually for this group before. So Queen of Wands, look at this beautiful femme dominatrix energy. You can see this black piece they have on, this whip in their hand, this fire red hair. They really have a say. The Wands is fire energy, So fire energy is about what turns us on. What turns us on, what makes us excited, right? What gives us that vibe, that feeling. And so Queen of Wands is saying, speak up, but speak up. Speak up. Don't worry so much about, judging yourself. My body can do this or it can't do that. My body. Make your bedroom accessible. Make your bedroom accessible, right? Don't turn that judgment in on yourself. No. If you got to have an erotic moment on top of the heating pad, you do that. If you got to have an erotic moment while you are, laid out in your favorite yoga position, you do that. If you got to take breaks and drink water and pace yourself, you do that. It is not your place. It is not the loving journey to judge your erotic energy or to judge what you're able to do or what you... No, my babies, that's called internalized ableism. And we don't need internalized ableism in our bedroom, do we? Okay, some of y'all are going to get that on the way home. All right, so 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. If you've chosen a number, 1, 2, or 3, get your number in your mind. 1, 2, or 3. If you're just joining, welcome. Choose a number. Don't overthink it. 1, 2, or 3. When you have your number, you can put it in the chat and let me know. I like to see the patterns that we have. So for all of us here, we've got the Judgment card and we've got the Queen of Wands. Oh, my buddy Vibrating Tarot is here. Hey! We're working with the Judgment card and the Queen of Wands for everybody. So now we're choosing 1, 2, or 3. Okay, I'm seeing 1s. I'm seeing 3s. 3, I think I'm actually going to start with you because y'all are... Y'all are coming with some intensity. So 3, I think I'm going to start with you, okay? I hope that's okay. So, my beloveds that chose 3, or if you're just joining us, here's your card. Now, please know, all of the cards, for as long as you're here in this live, the cards will apply to you, okay? So it's really a matter of how many cards do you want, all right? So the number that you have chosen will be the card that has the most application to you and to your life, right? And then the other cards will be kind of like the addendums. So if you chose 3, I actually want to give you the recommendation of the Limbaflex Small. Limbaflex Small. So if you have chosen card number 3, you got the 9 of Cups. And the toy, I'm going to open it up so you can actually see it. Something about unboxing things is really relaxing to me. So you have the 9 of Cups. And the toy that you receive, toy rec, is the Limbaflex Small, okay? We have a 9 of Cups and a Limbaflex Small. What does this mean? What is Jade saying to us? I'm glad you asked. 9 of Cups, beloveds, if you just joined or if you chose 3, you have the 9 of Cups. You can see they're engaging in some water sports here. They are literally just looking blissed out. The number 9 in the tarot is the number of self-determination, right? Not toxic independence, self-determination. That is the right that you have to speak about yourself for yourself. The right that you have to be yourself, right? Your full self. That's the 9. The 9 is the number of self-determination, right? So that when Jade walks into a building, baby, Jade walks into a building, right? When Queen walks into a building, Queen walks into a building. When Tracy Flower Child Cherie walks into a building, Tracy Flower Child Cherie walks into a building, right? That ability we get to self-determine, okay? Now, that's the number 9. Cups. The cups in the tarot is the suit of our esoteric self. Hey, Jasmine, our exoteric self. So it is our feeling, the way we feel, the way we perceive, right? It's giving us that song, D'Angelo, How Does It Feel? That's the suit of cups, right? Cups is always concerned with how are we feeling, not just what we're doing, but how are we feeling, right? So we have these 2 themes in this one card, self-determination, right? And feeling. Now, the 9 of Cups, I love to ask this question. What's your pleasure? Taurus season will have you looking at what is your pleasure? What is your pleasure? Look at my baby here. My baby here is having their water sports moments, and they are at peace. They are at peace and they are at rest because why? This is their pleasure. This is their pleasure, right? Remember that this is read in context with the Judgment card. Sometimes we are our own, sometimes we police our, now this is a word I don't know who this is for, but sometimes we police our own desire in ways that just aren't appropriate for our thriving. Sometimes we police our own desire in ways that are not appropriate for our own erotic thriving, okay? That is reading between the cards of Judgment, of the 9 of Cups, and of the Queen of Wands. All right, so if you chose 3, The question this Taurus season is, what is your pleasure? How do you want to feel in your erotic life? How do you want to perceive? What are the things that you feel like, oh, I might be interested in this, but might feel like, oh, I got to get used to the fact that I might be interested in this. Can you embrace your inner wild one? Can you embrace your inner wild one? Can you embrace your cups self? Can you engage and be fully present in your feeling, in your erotic feeling? Huh? Can you? I don't know. Somebody who's my friend and who loves me, take a screenshot of this moment, because some of y'all, thank you, E. Eleanor. E. Eleanor scribed it down for us, and I don't want y'all to miss this moment. So somebody who loves me, take a screenshot for me and send it to me. Yes? Okay, 9 of Cups. Now, your toy recommendation is the Limbaflex Small. I like the Limbaflex Small because this is a toy that I really think helps us answer that question of what is our pleasure. It is really good for penetration, and it has a flared base. The flared base is important, my babies, because you want that flared base, whether you're working with vaginal penetration, anal penetration, etc. Now, here's something that I appreciate about particularly working with toys that are a bit smaller in size, is that you really could take your time. I really recommend just giving yourself a little massage, even with, you can see it's got this curve. It has a nice kind of density to it, right? It's not too soft. I feel like it has like a medium kind of density to it, and there's like a slight this slight ability, I hope you can see this, to do this like rotational moment. So it's really good for massages. It's really good for internal massages, and really good for both solo play and partner play. You can even, because of the flared base, you can even put it on an O-ring, so you can use it with harnesses and that kind of play as well. So the reason why this toy corresponds with the 9 of Cups is because it's so versatile. It's like, what is your pleasure? What do you want? What are the things that you are looking for, right? So my babies that chose number 3, that's your card for this Taurus season. Now let's move on. Those of you who have just joined, choose a card, 1, 2, or 3. If you've already chosen your card, great. Keep that in mind. Choose a card, 1, 2, or 3. If you got 3, you got the 9 of Cups. You'll have to watch the replay. Let's move into 2s. Do we have any 2s? 2s put. Let me see you. If you chose 2, let me see you. Because this word feels real specific. So let me see you if you're a 2. Okay. Yeah. If you chose 2, put it in the chat for me, so I know who I'm talking to. Okay. Yep. I figured. Okay. 2s. Of course. 2s. 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 Beloveds, I want you to take one thing off of your plate. Just one. Just one. Okay? 2. You have a 10 of Wands. A 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. This is what it looks like. 10 of Wands. Honestly, my babies, this is a card of burnout. And so let's pause there. Sometimes you can't tap into your sensual energy because you're too tired. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Are you tired? Does your body need erotic rest? I have in the lectures that I do with Embodied Sensual Rituals, I talk about this theme of erotic rest. Go ahead and write that down. Erotic rest. Huh? Get all in your favorite. What I like to do, I like to get all in my favorite, my negligees and my little, bits and bobs. And I like to take a nice, Epsom salt bath with some rose petals inside of a muslin bag, because don't nobody feel like cleaning all of that, right? So I do all of these things, and then I light my candle, right? Enjoy that flame, blow it out, and lay down. If you have number 2, I want you to schedule in, because y'all, I know you're the schedulers. I want you to schedule in 1 session each week of this next month of erotic rest. It can be 30 minutes. It can be an hour. It could be 15 minutes. And in your erotic rest time, you do whatever you want to do. If you want to take that time to do the whole ritual of it all and lay down, great. If you want to use that time to say, I'm going to roll up and I'm going to do some pleasurable self-touch, great. What is erotic? Somebody saying guilty, all charges. My beloveds, listen. You are not an infinitely renewable resource. Okay? Don't let overculture lie to you. You have to be aware. Wands is the energy of fire. So for my tools, you have a lot of fire. You're ready to get stuff done. You're ready to move. You're ready to shake. You're ready to do. You're ready to do. But too much fire creates burnout. Too much fire creates burnout. And there is a threshold. There is a threshold. So the way for you to come back into your sensual feeling, the way for you to come back into your sexual feeling, is to just take something off of your plate so you have some type of energy. Yes? I hope you're hearing me. What are we gonna give for you? I think the recommendation, you know what? My baby is here. My friend, peer, colleague, Rashida Kambe Miller. One thing that Rashi always says is pleasure is our fuel, not our reward. Somebody catch that. Pleasure is our fuel, not our reward. That is from Rashi Kambe Miller. And I feel like that's a good word for you if you chose to. I'll tell you how to stay in touch with me. No, don't worry. Okay? All right, so I think your toy is going to be the Stronic. The Stronic. Look at this thing. I'm sorry, my babies. I couldn't wait to unbox this with y'all because mother needed to experience the glory. Mother needed to experience the glory. Let me tell you about this toy, y'all. This is the Stronic Reel. Sorry, this is the Stronic Reel Pulsator number 2. Stronic Reel Pulsator number 2. Oh, you like the Stronic? Yeah, honey. Stronic Reel Pulsator 2. Stronic Reel Pulsator 2 is giving sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's giving sit back and relax and enjoy the show. As someone who is chronically ill, I have chronic pain. The weight of it is really, I love it because I don't have to strain myself too much. I can hold it. Yeah, you have the pink one. Yeah, no, it's good. It's waterproof. It's rechargeable. Somebody said lazy masturbation. Emma's right. I mean, and when you turn it on, baby, it's giving sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So let me show you a little bit of the show. That's just the minimum. Respect is just the minimum, as Lauren Hill says. Right? So all these different settings that you can do. Oh my goodness. Hello there. Hello there. So this is the Stronic. Look at this. This is giving sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, baby. So it's really good for vaginal penetration. Ooh. Did y'all see the way the Stronic just took out the lie? So yeah, baby, it's giving. It's giving. So if you just joined or you chose 2, 10 of Wands, you got to take something off the plate. You have to take something off the plate. You must. You have to take something off the plate. Hey, puppy. So yes, know that some of you, your erotic journey, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just tired. So my babies, enter into some erotic rest. Your recommendation is the Stronic Pulsator 2, number 2. Okay, it's got a nice length, it's got a nice girth, and as you can see, the the vibrator is real, the pulsating is real. It's giving sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so if you are just joining us and you have not chosen a card, or if you were just waiting for number 1, this is your card. I want to do a quick recap. Okay, so the card that we all get, all of us watching past, present, and future, the card that we all get, Judgment and the Queen of Wands. We're taking our erotic agency. We're showing up to say, like, this is pleasurable for me. This is not pleasurable for me. And we're not policing our own erotic desires inappropriately. Yeah, we're making some judgments about, like, how can I have erotic moments in ways that feel good for my specific body, right? So if I need to have a sensual moment on top of a heating pad, that's what I'm going to do. If I need to pause and pace myself, that's what I'm going to do. And so the Judgment card is really about knowing yourself and having some discernment around, like, what is it that I need, and what are the politics of my bedroom? What kind of energy gets to come in here? Huh? I know some of y'all will get that on the way home. But the Judgment card says Taurus season, yes, it's giving us relaxation and beauty and all of that Venusian energy. But it's also asking us to really think about who we are and to self-determine. Okay? Know that you have erotic agency. Now, number 1, if you're just joining us, hey, sugars. If you're just joining us, or if you chose the number 1, this is your card. It is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is a major arcana card. Okay, so this card for you actually might last even longer than Taurus season. So just be mindful of that. This is what it looks like upright. When we have a card in reverse, what does that mean? Don't get shook and leave the live. Don't get shook and leave the live, my babies. It's going to be okay. When you have a card in reverse, it's an invitation for you to slow down and consider. Slow down and reflect. Slow down and perceive. Slow down and understand. Okay? So I'm going to actually pull another card for you, a clarifying card for my ones. Wheel of Fortune pertaining to what? What is this giving? What is this giving? Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. Wheel of Fortune pertaining to the 3 of Swords. All right. Here's how I want to do this. I'm going to show you both of the cards. Wheel of Fortune, 3 of Swords. Okay? If you chose 1, there's a lot on your mind. Do you remember how we said for the 2s, there was a lot on their plate? They had a lot of fire energy, and that fire was really like burning them out, right? If you chose 1, or if you just joined us, there's a lot going on in your like mental, right? So the way for you to enter into your erotic pleasure, your erotic joy, your erotic satisfaction in this Taurus season is actually by taking some time for mindful meditation. Okay? So the Wheel of Fortune is like, it gives that energy of like here, there, and everywhere, right? It's when things are unpredictable. It's when things, we can't We might not be able to even know, like, plan our next moments. And that's okay. That is okay. We're living in a moment. The thing I love about tarot is that, like, it's real. So it's not always going to give you, like, yes, queen. For us in this moment, for us that have chose number 1, or that you're just joining us, we have a lot going on in our mind. We have a lot going on in our mental space. So we need to take some time for mindful meditation, right? The way for you to enter into your sensual and erotic energy is through mindful meditation. Now, some of you are like, Jade, I have tried meditation and my brain just does all the things and I can't, like, clear my mind. I want to let you know that the point is not to clear your mind. Okay? I want us to know that. The point is not necessarily to clear your mind. It's just to notice what comes up in that space of your mind. What comes up, acknowledge it, and then release it, just like the waves on a shore, right? That are coming in and coming out. So for some of us, we don't often talk about the fact that our erotic journey involves our emotions, our body, and our mind. So if you chose number 1, or you're just joining us, you're in that space of the mind, right? So how kind are your thoughts toward yourself? How can you validate your own erotic desires, wants, needs, agencies? Can you take some time to mindfully meditate, right, before an erotic activation? Now, that erotic activation can be anything that allows you to feel deeply, okay? Anything that allows you to see deeply. Just take maybe 1 minute to breathe in through your nose, pausing at the peak of that breath, exhaling, just being aware of the beauty of your breath actually can unlock some spaciousness for you. Because, beloved, you've got to spend some time with you, with your mind, with your mental, with your wellness in that space, right? And it will actually add to your erotic journey. It will add to your erotic and sensual and sexual journey, right? Because our journey involves our mind, our body, our heart, our emotions, right? So you're in the energy of swords. Swords rules our communication, our mouth, and our mind, how we strategize or how we think about something. And the 3 of Swords, when we see the 3 of Swords, this is actually looking at a little bit kind of like working through some grief, right? And so this is a space where, and it's not like deep, heavy griefs that it's not that. The 3 of Swords is that grief that comes, right? That it may be, we may be used to it, like in the back of our minds, right? It's not affecting or interrupting our everyday, but there's just something back, there's just something back in the halls of our mind that we need to say, you know what? I'm going to share love and compassion with myself, with my mental journey, right? I'm not going to push so much for you. Listen, it's the mind space. It's the mindful meditation. One thing that actually might be helpful for you is moving meditation, right? So that might look like thinking, okay, I know that I get in my head sometimes when it comes to my sensual energy. I know that I get in my head sometimes when it comes to my sexual energy, right? And so, is there a way that you can move that just feels good to you? Maybe that's the meditation, right? Maybe the meditation is not just sitting there, austerely, like, I need to do that, right? Maybe the meditation is, what does it feel like for me to take this toy and just trace and breathe? Not rushing towards a goal, not rushing towards a conclusion. What does that do for my mind? What does that do for my imagination? What does that do for my spaciousness? Yeah? So for you, there's a journey that we're going on in our mental wellness, in our mental capacity. We're slowing down in our mind. We're being mindful. We're meditating in the ways that allow us to then show up and be present, when it's time for all of the shenanigans, right? When it's time for the bend it over, bust it down. Right? You can take a minute. Do you know how many, this is real talk. Do you know how many times I have been just at the precipice of an erotic moment and I would just pause as a babe with anxiety, as a babe that like really, I will just pause, go to the bathroom, you know, or whatever room, you know, other room is private, and I will literally just take some deep breaths to clear out that space of the mind, to show up. How am I coming into this mentally? Where's my head? And what do I need to do to be fully present as I move into this moment? This is for your health. This is for your wellness, right? So it's cute because this is our little monthly reading key. But if you chose number 1, or if you're just joining us, this is for our health. This is for our wellness. This is for our mind. This is for us to be on our own side, sensually and sexually. This is for us to breathe through, for us to find a practice of breath and mindfulness that can help us to move through our sexual and our sensual journey. If you're hearing me, put in the comments that you're hearing me. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, beloveds? Because I'm going to move on in a few. All right. So, here's what we do now. This is a good, I love this part. Your questions. I'm going to do a quick recap and we're going to get into your questions. Okay? So, what are the cards for all of us? The Judgment card and the Queen of Wands. Judgment card and the Queen of Wands. So, overall, we're using our discernment. We're getting to know ourselves, right? And we're getting to know like what's our pleasure? What are we excited about? Queen of Wands. Wands is fire energy. Look at this, like dominatrix kind of energy. It's not saying you have to be a dominatrix to do this, but channel that Queen of Wands, right? The queens represent eldership. The queens represent, you know, this is not, I've been here and I know what I want. And so how can you embody the energy of the Queen of Wands as we move through this Taurus season, okay? Now, the next card, oh, and your recommendation, my babies, was it was not the Stronic. It was the Limba. No. There was no recommendation for that card. So we're gonna move on to the Limba. The Limba, 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups. If you chose the number 3, you got the 9 of Cups and you got the Limba small. It's a small size dildo. The question is, what is your pleasure? 9 is the number of self-determination and mastery, and Cups is the feeling. So what are your feelings? How do you feel? What is the pleasure that you can really access at the space of the heart? At the space of the heart. The 9 of Cups, look at, they are unbothered. They are enjoying what they're enjoying, and they're in a moment of peace. They're in a moment of calm. And so I really like this toy for this card because it's very explorative. It's really great for anal penetration. It's really great for vaginal penetration, and the materials, for all of their toys, the materials are safe for your body. Okay, so the next card, if you got 10 of Wands, I told you to take something off of your plate. Take something off of your plate. Take something off of your plate. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no blockage, you know, in your sexual or sensual journey. You're just probably tired. So go lay down. Take some erotic rest. I gave actually a specific kind of formula way of taking some erotic rest. So if you haven't seen that part, watch the replay, okay, my babies? So you have the 10 of Wands, and the toy that you have is matching. How cute is that? This is the Stronic Real Pulsator 2. The motor on this thing is a very respectful motor. And if you chose 3 or you joined at this moment, we're actually showing up for our mental wellness as it pertains to our sexual and sensual health, okay? Knowing that we may not, like, we may feel a little like here, there, everywhere, a little kind of like scattered in our mental space, right? Just taking some time to breathe in, acknowledge, oh, hey, I'm feeling it. Hey, hi, feeling. I see you. I validate you. I acknowledge you. And then letting that, right? Letting it ebb and letting it flow. Okay. It's okay to have those moments. It really, 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 really is. And if you got this card, I think what I want to give to you is let's do this. The Nas cock ring. I think that's what we want to do. So I waited to unbox this with you all. So let's see what it's giving. So we're looking at the cock ring. Oh yes. So it vibrates, of course. You can attach it to your toys as well. And I think this is really good because I think Wheel of Fortune, it is, listen, I tested out the motor and it's definitely and so I really, really like this, especially for the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, because I think that knowing, particularly with Fun Factory's smaller toys, they have these little different like teasy kind of vibrations. And so I think the Wheel of Fortune, so that we don't get too much in our head as we're in our erotic moments, I think that this would be a really nice, right? Isn't this thing gorgeous, Black Lady Tarot? It's so gorgeous. I think the variety, really might help us to kind of feel into what are those other sensations. So I think I want to recommend this card if you got Wheel of Fortune or the Three of Swords. Okay, my loves? So now it's time for your questions. What questions do you have? You can ask me a specific question. I have 10 minutes, so catch me. I say this every live, I feel. Catch me when I want to be caught. Catch me while I want to be caught. You can ask your questions and I will pull a card for you for this Taurus season. Go ahead and put it in the chat. We've got 10 minutes, so catch me while I want to be caught. Your specific questions. Also, you can watch the replay. Fun Factory USA makes sure that they put the replay on the website, so you can watch the replay either here or you can watch the replay on the website. Okay, so now it's time for your personal questions, the questions that you might have about sensuality, your erotic journey, as we move into this Taurus season. Okay, the first question we have is, so just the ones, Black Lady Tarot, just the ones on sensuality, my love. Just the ones that you have on sensuality and the erotic, okay? So kind of reframe and then we'll come back. Emma Riot says, what are your tips for caregivers to make space for erotic? Ooh. Yes. What are your tips for caregivers to make space for erotic rest? I want to be clear that erotic rest doesn't have to just look one way, okay? One thing that I always say, write this down, that Jade T said it, okay? Make the magic easy. Make it easy, right? Is there space for you? Are there natural breaks within your day where you can make that easy, right? If you can't say, ooh, I'm just taking my erotic rest right now for an hour and a half or 2 hours. If that's not accessible for you, then see how you can adjust to make the magic easier. Can you take 5 minutes at the top of the day in your morning routine? And then maybe 5 minutes at the end of the day? Or maybe it's midday, right? So follow your personal rhythm, your idiorhythmy. The name of the scholar who coined that term is escaping me. But your idiorhythmy, right? That is your idiosyncratic rhythm that you just live on. Do you know that? Can you kind of like clue into that over these next few days, and then see like what's my personal rhythm, what's my idiorhythmy, and then how can I make the magic easy between that? I'm still gonna pull a card, but these are my thoughts just as I'm pulling. So if you have questions, also my loves, if you've got questions about your sensual and sexual journey throughout the rest of this Taurus season, now is the time that you can answer. Now is the time you can ask, and I will pull a card to hopefully answer. Right now we're talking about what are some ways that caregivers can prioritize erotic rest. Step by step. 7 of coins. Look at the look at the expressions. Look at the expressions. This is the Sledist Tarot that I'm working with. Look at their expression. So the number 7, it's a really interesting number. I like to think about 7 as the number of self, and a self-knowing, like a knowing of the self, rather than that like 9 self-determination, mastery, etc. And so the coins is, I feel like, our most humble suit, because it's earth, it's like the everyday erotic rest for you, my love. It might not look like, oh, I can take 3 hours on retreat to just do this, I think it's going to be that step by step. It might be like, you know what, this morning I'm going to have some rose petals and some honey in my tea, and I'm just going to drink my tea, and that's going to be my erotic rest. My mind, my heart, my emotions, my focus is just on enjoying the universe that's inside of this. Right? Yeah. Yes. All right, let's see what else we have, my loves. Okay. The next question, how do we open up to connecting with people post-vax? It's been an isolated... Yeah. When you find out, let me know. Let's see what the cards have to say. How to open up connecting with people post-vax. Eight of Swords. Oh gosh, the tea. The tea is piping hot. Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so how can I put this down sharply and quickly? Eight of Swords is the number of action, right? And it's the way we're either moving in our action or we're in action. So it's significant that we have an 8, right? Swords, again, that's our mind. That's the space of our mind, our mental formation. So the ways that we tend to think. Now, the 8 of Swords typically is about restrictions. You can see right here that they've got kind of like their bondage. It's about restrictions, but it's actually about like more mental restrictions and mental blocks, right? To open up to connecting with people post-vaccination, which I think this card is just so appropriate. Oh my gosh. Now we have it in reverse. When a card is in reverse, that can mean that there's an over-representation of the energy on that card or an under-representation depending on the other cards that are there. So tarot is both like art and science, right? So the 8 of Swords in reverse, we have this theme of like opening up. The action of that is going to have to happen in stages, of course, right? Not just for the material reality, but also for the reality of our mind, right? So the best way that we can think about, connecting with people post-vax is really staying informed, having enough information, right? Having enough information so that we can be safe and so that we can make decisions. When we need to restrict, then we restrict. That's the 8 of Swords. When we don't need to restrict, we don't need to restrict. So we need to be figuring out like who's in my pod, where do I, right? So that's going to be step by step, piece by piece, because mentally it's going to take a while for us to like You know what I mean? Like, we have to adjust. We have to mentally adjust, right? So don't rush yourself, I think is what it's saying, Eleanor. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush yourself trying to just move. No, there's still going to be some restrictions in place. So know enough to keep yourself safe and give yourself time just for mentally, for yourself to kind of like go pace by pace. All right, let's see. Black Lady Tarot says, how do you invite your partner into more sensual play? How do you invite your partner into more sensual play? Okay. This will be for you, okay? So I'm not sure, but I think you got to speak up for yourself. We have a Princess of Swords in reverse. Princess of Swords. Again, a lot of swords. So what's going on, my babies? Well, I mean, the mental formations, we're really dealing through that this Taurus season, which is really interesting. So we have the Princess of Swords, and Princess of Swords, oh, I love it because the Princess of Swords really is an adept communicator. Sometimes we can get into like brat play here with this card if we're thinking about like kink as well. So for you, it's bringing the head down through the mouth, and communicating, right? How do we invite them into more sensual play? We say, I want to invite you into more sensual play. With my mouth, honey. I want to communicate that to you. I want to invite you into more sensual play. Here's what that looks like for me. What does that look like for you? Right? So having those conversations is going to help you, to invite that in. Okay, my love. Let's see. I think I can take maybe like one more. Carmen is gonna scroll down. Harajuku Roxy. Okay, how can you? Okay, Harajuku Roxy says, I know I'm sexy, lovable, and strong, but I feel invisible to the rest of the world these days. How do we project more effectively? Okay. All right, I think this is going to be the last one. As I'm pulling, I'm going to tell you how to keep in touch with me. You can keep in touch with me over at Jade T Perry. I'm here each month doing sensual tarot readings. I will be here next month, so keep an eye out on both our accounts, Fun Factory USA and at Jade T Perry. And we will let you know kind of when it's coming through the year. We will make sure that there are some notes up for you on the website as well, over at on specifically Fun Factory. And so you can access the full reading experience, okay? So Harajuku Roxy, you're ending us out. Temperance. Oh, I love this ending. Temperance. This is a major. So again, this is going to be a larger card in the context of, just overall, okay? And it's going to ask you to reflect. So how can you project more effectively? What's the middle way? You actually get a question in exchange. Temperance, if that language doesn't resonate with you, think the language equilibrium. How do you find that middle way, that equilibrium, right? That your sexuality, your strength, your lovable, it doesn't always have to show up one way. It doesn't even have to show up the way that like overculture and the dominant, narratives in mass media tell you it can be expressed, right? Find your own middle, your equilibrium, that space where you feel comfortable. Where's your erotic comfort zone? Yeah? And know a lot of times people are like, oh, don't come out of your comfort zone. But like some of us actually need to find our comfort zone. What is that comfortable space where we find equilibrium, temperance, and balance? All right, my loves. It is always a joy. It is always so fun to be with you. Keep in touch throughout the month. Next month, I will be doing this again. And we will have 3 more toy wrecks. So I pull the cards. You choose a number, and then I pair up a toy that is recommended just based on what I kind of associate it with in the cards, okay? So I will see you next month, beloveds. Bye-bye.